All right, so this is the pump track I'm at. It's pretty big, good size.
It's huge. Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Have you ridden this one before?
Quickly on my cross bike. This is one of the routes I go to ride some gravel. This community's on the edge of the city. It's brand new, so they have like gravel roads to the farms and everything. So I've ridden it on my my cyclocross bike, which is kind of sketchy. But
well, sweet. So let's set you up. So do you have any questions going into this? Are you already warmed up?
Kind of, yeah, I got a few laps in and did some mobility stuff when I showed I had about 5 minutes. So
right.
Yeah, I got that in.
Nice. I can see you fine. Let's do it in the other direction so I can see you coming head on.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, let's go for another lap. I have feedback. I want to see if it's the same this time. Nice.
All right.
That's a long lap. So like the first order of business is your arm motion, okay? You know, a pump track is a very literal wave, right? I mean, very literal. And so the arm motion is, again, like you stand in the middle of the bike, the bars, as the bike changes attitude, the bars rotate in this arc around your feet, right? Like this. So the motion is specifically in an arc around your bottom bracket. That's exactly where it's going. But like from a thinking standpoint, it's not down. It's much more forward and backward. So I think it pays to focus on forward and backward motion. And that comes, you're in a hinge that comes from swinging your elbow towards your hip. So it's mostly lat, like you're right. It's really powerful. Okay, so there's that. And so then when you come to the troughs, that's a pull. When you go over the crest, that's a push. That track actually looks like it's in pretty good shape and is built pretty well, which is cool. This is less of an issue on that track, but it's kind of a constant. Like if a track is a perfect wave, like a perfect wave, that's what we try to build, then the timing of the pull and the push are equal. And those tracks are incredibly easy to ride, like incredibly easy to ride. Mm-hmm. Most tracks are built kind of pointy, and also over time they get pointier. So almost always the crest is shorter than the drop. So the push is a lot faster than the pull. So the pull is like where the power happens, and the push is a recovery. Oh, push, oh, push, oh, push. So just be cognizant of that. And so be in there and just like let your legs do what they want. That's fine. And let's focus on getting that full range of motion. How'd that feel, man?
Good. It's tricky because I'm going out. I'm into the wind, so I find that messes my rhythm up. And then coming down this home stretch, I'm just carrying so much speed. It's like I have to change my rhythm.
Interesting.
How about this? Definitely felt smoother because I was focusing on what my legs were doing the last 2 laps, and now doing the hand that's tying it in. So I felt like I was able to gain, especially going out into the wind, I was gaining more speed without having to pedal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I saw. It looked like you were more connected. You were able to put more power in a bike, which is super. We've talked about this, like, you know, your bike's a set of levers, your body's a set of levers. There's a specific height for your shoulders that gives you complete, beautiful control of that bar arc. And it's freaking low, right? So play with extra low and see how you feel. If you get too low, you'll know, but I've never seen it happen, not once. There you go, man. I think it's an attempt to make more power, maybe, but I see that you're kind of bobbing your head up and down, and I don't think you're being disrupted by the bumps. I think you're just actually moving your torso up and down to achieve something. Okay. So try to keep your torso, like from your pelvic floor to the top of your head, locked in, completely level, completely flat. And then have your hands and feet track the bumps when you're ready. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was quick. You got that nice lead, I should say.
Yeah.
Now, let your hands relax and just let them do what they want to do. They're fine. And let's focus on leg. And so it's like mogul skiing, right? Head dead level. Your feet are going to move up and down with the bumps. And just let your hands do what they do. Slower.
Right.
How was that? How did that feel to you?
Well, smooth, a lot less effort. I didn't feel like I was producing as much power through the rollers. So I wasn't focusing on like the hand movement, but I definitely felt smooth. And one section, if you can see it, that right hand turn in the middle, I've been pedaling out of that. Each lap, that lap, I didn't have to pedal out of it.
Nice, man. Yeah, I agree with your assessment. It looks smooth, not particularly powerful. That's fine.
Yeah.
Ultimately, everything's gonna be locked in, row, anti-row. But for a lot of riding, most riding for most people in most places, when you're tracking a trail, it's mostly hips. And the arms just kind of help the angle, or maybe just add a little bit of engagement. So like when you do like heavy duty endurance pump track work, in case you do that, you'd spend some of that time like with as little hand as you can. Just focus on your hips. When you're ready, do it again. Like, how about this time? Like, don't be afraid to throw pedals in and get more speed, and just keep your head level, you know, and just track. Like your eyes should come straight at the phone, like no up and down at all.
All right.
Yeah.
That felt good.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I put a pedal stroke in except for the first roller. And I carried speed and felt smooth.
That's so good. Now we're going to integrate your hands and your feet into that full row, anti-row. So as you recall, right, the row is push with your feet, pull with your hands. Anti-row is pull with your feet, push with your hands. Same, you know. And so now, ideally, the speed will happen. That's an artifact of great technique. Right?
Yeah.
So internally, I want you to focus on like the sensations which you know of a great hinge. So you know what that feels like in your butt and your hamstrings and your core, and also of engagement through your upper body, specifically your lats. So then with each push of the legs, see if you can feel your lats opposing your glutes. So how was that last lap? How'd that feel?
Very good. I had a heel on the back of it. I had a big gust of wind hit me, headwind. And I was able to keep I slowed down, but I kept going. I didn't have like, I got a pedal, or I just like was able to keep pushing and pulling, rowing, anti-rowing, and I just kept my flow around it.
That's good. That might be why, like, I saw you like coming up high on top of the bumps. You weren't level, and maybe that's because you were just working harder for the pump. Here's a crazy thought that I don't think I've ever shared with anybody except you, because you're like special. You ready? Like, when you're not really engaged and you're not doing the stuff, your head follows the bumps, right? The bump goes up, your head goes up, right? That's where most people start. And so then excellent pump track riding or trail riding is head level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did this book on BMX, and I got to work with like all the top like national champion BMX guys. At that level, which is probably the nth zillionth degree of pumping power, their head actually follows the inverse of the bump. The inverse. Yeah. So when they're in between in the hole, they've extended so much that their head comes up, right?
Yeah.
And then when they come onto the bump, they compress so much, they retract so much that their head goes down. So they're actually mirroring the bumps. So maybe when you find yourself in a situation like the headwind or whatever, and you need extra crazy pump action, try that. Yeah, man. So you'll either stay level this time, or maybe you'll play with the idea of being inverse when you're
okay. All right, I'll try it.
Man. So like you'll see in the video, your head's actually moving up and down noticeably with the bump.
Okay.
With the bump. Like I said, this inverse stuff, that's pretty far out there in terms of power development.
Yeah.
For sure, we need, and maybe you go there, maybe you don't. That's fine. But for sure, we need you to be able to go head level. I think there are two things going on. One is the bump naturally pushes your head up. Like that's just what bumps do, right? And also, I suspect that the timing of your legs is a hair late. And that by the time you get to the full extension, you're already on the upside a little bit. For this pass, get that leg push sooner. Like as soon as you're over the top, actually, as you're crossing the crest, your brain should say push, feet. And by the time you get to the back, then they will be pushing already. So focus on that. And then when you're coming over the fronts of the bumps, pull yourself as low as you can. Like just make a game of that. If you feel the seat like in your solar plexus, you look really good on that last part. Really good. Like really like tidy, smooth, low. It's good. It's really good. All right, brother. Same, right? Go really fast.
Yeah.
I think Biggie is like a really early push with the feet, and then an actively pulling yourself down on the bumps. And I think that'll be groovy. I thought that looked really cool, dude.
Yeah, felt good.
Yeah, you look good.
I could really feel like the connection to my hands and feet.
Nice. That was pretty badass, man. Yeah, your movement patterns are solid, brother. They look good. So
all right, good.
Here's like another detail for you, okay? Tension is awful. That's not okay. What's better than tension is being relaxed, right? That's better than tense. And for most people, if they could just get to that level, that's great. But you're already past that level. Now we're going to go for engaged. Engaged is better than relaxed. Okay, so when you have your hands on the bar, right? Go for a little bit of an external rotation, not from the wrist, but from your shoulders.
Yeah.
So it helps pack your shoulders, right? So like if you can do a heavy bench press, you want to like externally rotate the bar to lock in your shoulder girdle, right?
Yeah.
So like when you get in there, like brace your lower ab core. You know how to do that. Brace that. Brace your upper core, which would be your shoulders. Okay. And then what we're shooting for, check this out, is instead of having like, let's say the push muscles push and then they turn off, and the pull muscles pull and they turn off, and there's this back and forth, and there's a little bit of a latency in the turn off, right? What we want to do is maintain engagement of both sides of your torso, right? The whole way through, and then just cycle, which is on and off. Yeah. Holy cow, dude.
Yeah, I was going the middle of the straight. There's you can see like on the backside, like the turn in the middle.
Yeah.
Those rolls are higher and have a bigger drop down. I basically have to like go into emergency mode and it's not fly over the handlebars.
That's cool. You're having fast guy problems.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I did that a few times, kind of, the first few laps, but I wasn't as smooth. And then I felt smooth going in. I was like, whoa, those two rollers are just so much bigger.
How about this? I get it. So your two options are slow down. That's a fine option. And the other option is just to move faster, right? And for our purposes, since you're safe, I say option 2.
Move faster,
so like right now, I don't know, I'm gonna give you random numbers. Let's say it's taking 70 units of energy to get around the track. Those rollers are going to be 100 units of energy. So this is killer because you literally get to a point where your nervous system cannot fire fast enough to do what you want to do. And that's where you are, which is killer. And then we'll just ease into it and your nervous system will catch up. Right. That's how you get faster. Yeah.
Oh.
That's pretty solid, huh, man? So I only got one trough from a side view. That's the one, but behind between the faraway turns. And, and I saw you there, and I felt like your row was a little bit late. So the faster you go, the earlier you have to send all these signals from your brain. And the faster you're going, the more your wave has to precede the terrain wave. So we're going to get to a point, dude. It'd be hard to do for a full lap, but we'll get to a point where you're not touching the fronts of any of the bumps. Like you're hopping from the back of one roller to the back of the next roller. And that's when things get incredibly fast and smooth. Same technique, but get that row sooner. And like to my eye, it happened in a blink. I felt like you were like 1.5 to 2 feet too late last time.
Okay, get the row in sooner. Okay.
Yep. Like, I mean, as soon as you're on the back of the bump, you should already be rowing.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay, now like here's a specific one for you. I think that you're not pulling very hard with your lats. Is that true?
Yeah.
And
maybe.
That's a feeling, so that's why I asked. But I can see that you're pulling too late. That's a fact. If you're having fast guy problems, everything you're doing now has to happen sooner. Try to maintain that little external rotation at the bar, so your lats are already on, and then fire them as soon as you're on the back of the roller, right? We're not pulling up the front. We're pulling back through the trough. Yeah, that looked good, dude. And it's cool. Like the tailwind's neat. It's like over speed drills, like running downhill, you know?
Yeah.
So focus on this now. Okay, you ready? Good.
Yeah.
So instead of it being like a push and a pull, now we're ready to make it push-pull. Make it
elliptical, okay.
And so if this is the cycle. So there's no pull without push pretty much ever, right? So then like one way to look at this would be like a punch, throwing a punch. Like you're pulling super hard, and then that loads you up for a really quick push, or you're pushing really fast and that's loading you for a powerful pull, right? Either way, get in there. Don't let your hands move at all, and see if you can achieve kind of like an elliptical motion. Two. That's good. I thought on the way back, I guess you have a tailwind coming back. You look really strong and smooth and low and fast. And I felt like there was more roundness in your hands. Like I think I see that.
Okay.
So how about this? Like you got to be getting a little fatigued. There's a lot of sprinting. So on this next
I'm
run,
okay.
so just cruise. Like when you're going out away, just cruise it.
Yeah.
Don't spend anything. And then when you get to those last turns down there, throw in some pedals and just drill the hell out of the last straight. Like your basic movements are all there. The biggies are doing everything sooner, right? And then going for the ellipse, like making that happen. I think that's where you are now, which is quite great. And then of course, all this plugs directly into trail riding and jumping in a big way.
Yeah.
I think that's all you need, like right now. And then something to consider we didn't really focus on today is the corners are long troughs.
Yeah.
So when you're pumping the corners, it's the same row, it's just slower.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's something to add in. I mean, you're cornering fine. I didn't freak out about it. I didn't want to call attention to it. Your corners are fine.
Okay, sounds good. I'll look at that coaching thing in the near future, and I'll probably ask a few more questions about it. So
you can always email me or contact me and talk about that stuff. Yeah, it's all
right,
good.
Okay.
Take care, Chris.
Okay. Thanks, Lee. See ya.